Hello guys, welcome back to another episode review of Hollyoaks. This is called Christmas episode 2. I love this episode. It was mainly revolved around the McQueens this time and a little bit of the Cunninghams, but it was spectacular because there was a lot of drama, there was a lot of chaos, especially around Mercedes. She's run out of her anxiety pills and she's trying to get more from Gemma, who's been hooking her up with all these pills, and obviously it's been bringing nothing but trouble for Mercedes, but Mercedes doesn't realise until towards the later on the episode. As you can see in the cat fight between Gemma and Mercedes, well, Mercedes was more Mercedes attacking Gemma. Anyway, before I get to that bit, the McQueens, they're all John Paul and Prince. I love that they were cooking together and, you know, the whole family came together. Warren, even Dodger, trying to sit down as a family, have a meal. But obviously, because it's the McQueens and it's Hollyoaks, then, you know, there has to be some sort of drama. Mercedes is obviously keeps drinking. Warren's watching her every move, which makes it worse because obviously the more you tell someone not to do something, the more they're going to do it. And obviously Warren doesn't own Mercedes. Mercedes is her own person. You know, Warren's, you know, maybe he can be seen as controlling, but whatever he's doing, he's kind of not letting Mercedes breathe because he's always on Mercedes' case. It's not helping, but he's on the right lines that Mercedes needs help. So I think she needs professional help at this stage. The fact that Miss Warren knows that she's been, you know, taking these pills, etc. Warren should have gotten someone else in, I reckon, to mediate the situation, to help Mercedes out. And the fact that Warren's drawing more closer to Gemma, who's playing this conniving character. Credit to the actress because she's playing it very well. And the fact that, you know, she's been supplying Mercedes with these anxiety pills from the beginning. It was all part of her plan. Mercedes wasn't even interested, but then she became interested afterwards. And that's when she first took it, which was a big mistake. And Gemma was just patiently waiting on the sidelines, waiting for Mercedes to keep blowing things apart with her family and Warren mainly, because Gemma wants Warren. Don't know why she's so obsessed with Warren. But hey, she's a bit crazy, as in the character that she plays is a bit crazy. And she had a massive fight. So when Warren and Mercedes, they were having a bit of an argument domestic in the village, Warren kind of revealed that he knows about her anxiety pills and told Gemma not to give Mercedes any more pills. That's when Mercedes lashed out because she thought that Gemma's, you know, it was between her and Gemma. Why did Gemma tell other people? And then she smacked Gemma. She pushed Gemma around. Gemma only managed to push Mercedes. But yeah, otherwise Mercedes would have gone ham into Gemma. I thought Gemma would have been a bit stronger given her past with Froggy and her criminal, you know, history. So I thought she would have been a bit more tough, to be honest. But then Diane came. Came out of nowhere, and this was completely iconic. I don't think there are many iconic moments in soap history. But then Diane came and defended Gemma a little bit, and she slapped Mercedes, and she goes, "It was me that called the police. What are you gonna do about it?" It was just so iconic the way that Diane slapped Mercedes. But yeah, Diane, and obviously Mercedes was really hurt, and then she looked like she was gonna cry. But then she later met up with Diane just outside the dog in the pond, by the pond, and she kind of tried to, you know, explain herself, etc. You know, she was grieving, and obviously Diane said, "You don't shoot someone because you're grieving." And obviously, you know, Diane went through hell because she's having to look after Tony. Mercedes is, you know, and then Diane said, you know, "I'm glad you're going through what you're going through because now you've hit rock bottom. You know what it looks like." That's exactly what Diane said. And then obviously she left the scene. Here's what I'm confused, guys, because on Christmas episode 1, you know, where the twins, Anthony and Dee Dee, they came out, and Ro, they came out and they saw their mother arguing with Mercedes. And they were stood like by the entrance of the dog, and then obviously Mercedes and Diane, they were stood by the pond, and they were just watching. And that happened in both Christmas 1 and Christmas episode 2. So I'm assuming the writers or the directors or the editors, they knew, or they deliberately repeated the scenes, but there were some differences, but it was very minute, the differences. So I really got confused because hang on, I thought I watched this already, but then no, it was that scene that lasted about 2 minutes where Diana and Mercedes were arguing in front of the dog in the pond. That was repeated in episode 2 as well as 1. So yeah, I'm sure maybe, I think what it is, they're trying to link the Christmas episodes together, so they're just showing a different angle, etc. Slightly different. Let me know what you thought of that as well, guys, because that was very interesting. And the big bombshell, obviously, Warren, he goes and checks on Gemma, that, she's just had a little bit of a bruise. Vicky gave her a potato waffle pack and maybe they put some ice on it. But they just ended up sleeping together, both Warren and Gemma. And then Mercedes came round to Gemma's or Mizba's house through the back door. And then, she kind of apologized. And then Gemma forgave her quickly. And then when Mercedes left, that's when Warren went down the stairs doing his shirt up. So obviously it's very evident that they were sleeping together because Gemma had her sleeping gown on. It's, for me, I find this a little bit tedious as a viewer because either I want to, either you want Warren and Mercedes to be together because they've had a lot of on and off relationship. Finally let Mercedes settle down. If Warren's finally the one, then just put them together. I don't understand why we're having to keep seeing on and off relationships. They're not teenagers. I'm going to leave it there, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode review. Peace.